Co-host, I need your help to admit your friends when they are entering this meeting, yeah, for Dava and Vina.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you. And please let me know when the participants and the presenter are ready. Yeah.
Ma'am, uh, my my team is already joined with us. Daisy, I mean, can you let her to share screen? Thank you.
Oh, okay. You cannot share screen yet. Okay. Uh, or okay. Wait a minute. Who's the other team? It's Desi, yeah.
Daisy, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna make you as a co-host so that you can share a screen because I cannot set the share screen through my phone because I'm using my phone right now. So I hope that you can understand this. Oh, you can share screen already. Okay, yeah. Okay, you can start. Daisy, I cannot hear your voice.
Okay, ma'am. It's my.
Yeah.
I'm, ma'am. It's my
So,
voice clear enough.
yeah, yeah. Before you go, I'm sorry that I cannot turn on my camera yet because I'm still on uh I'm still using my phone, but later on I will turn on my camera. So you can start by now.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from the second group. We are with me, Vina Ramayanti, and my team, Desi Kita Irawati. We want to present about the sales of good contracts. So the definition itself is according to the article 100, uh, 14 and 57 of the Civil Code, sale and purchase in an agreement or consent or contract in which a party binds itself to surrender a material or other parties that bind themselves to pay the promised price. And according to the Air Regional Projodicoro, said that the word sale and purchase indicated that from one party the action was called the seller, while from another party it was called buyer. So the term covering these two reciprocal action is in accordance with the Dutch term koop en verkoop, which is one verkoop or to sell, while the others is koop or buy. So a sale and purchase agreement is included in the type of reciprocal agreement, and a reciprocal agreement is an agreement that creates basic rights and obligations for both parties, for example, a sale and purchase agreement. Therefore, each party has an obligation as a result of what he has done. The seller is obligated to submit the goods he sells and at the same time tax side with the payment from the buyer. Next. Next, Desi. Next. So there are several known types of sale and purchase agreement, including first trial sale and purchase, trial buying and selling in Article 14 and 63 of the Civil Code of a trial sale and purchase of a new buyer will will provide uh, my apology. Uh, so trial buying and selling in Article 14 and 63 of the Civil Code, a trial sale and purchase of a new buyer will provide certainty. So whether or not to buy and sell after the buyer has experimented or tried items that can be purchased. After conducting the experiment, the buyer agrees to switch or the item purchase. Second, sell and purchase with a down payment. The sale and purchase is regulated in Article 14 and 64 of the Civil Code, which reads, if the purchase is made by giving an advance payment, neither party can cancel the purchase or the purpose of is regulated in Article 14 and 64 Civil Code. Either the buyer can cancel the sale and purchase agreement by giving up the down payment. Down payment. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's all done, or you have a trouble?
I don't know, Rizal. I'm so sebelumnya Des. So I will sell and purchase with a down payment. So the sale and purchase is regulated in Article 14 and 64 of the Civil Code, which reads, if the purchase is made by giving an advance payment, neither neither party can cancel the purchase by owning or returning the down payment. The purpose of buying and selling is regulated in Article 14 and 64 of the Civil Code. Either the buyer cannot cancel the sale and purchase agreement by giving up the down payment message that has been given by the buyer. Next. The third is sell and purchase with example. Regarding buying and selling by example, there is no mention of it in the law, except in passing it is mentioned in Article 69 of the Commercial Code, whereas in daily practice, there are lots of buying and selling example. Buying and selling by example usually occurs over objects of generic goods. The seller gives or buys the buyer a number of goods of the agreed quality. Next. So the obligation of the seller In Article 14 and 74 of the Civic Code, there are two main obligations. Submission. The first is submission, which is meant by juridical submission. This is because it is impossible for a real surrender to stand alone without judicial handover, and this submission is regulated in Article 14 and 74 until 14 and 83 for the real submission, and Article 14 and 84 until 14 and 9 for the transfer of fixed object or judicial transfer. And the second obligation is the guarantee. It's regulated in Article 14 and 19.1 until 15 and 12 of the Civil Code. So the next slide will be presented by Daisy.
Desi?
Daisy, I cannot hear you.
Your voice is unclear.
I think this is still facing some problem. I think it's okay if Vina continue the person.
Okay, ma'am. Can you mute? Yes. Udah dengar belum? So I will continue. The nature, what? The nature of sale of good contracts. It is wait, ma'am. I'm sorry. I think Daisy joined again.
Halo?
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Daisy.
Okay, ma'am.
I think I lost again her voice. You guys still here?
Yeah.
Is it only me?
Still
No.
not hear Desi, ma'am.
I think Desi tried to speak but faltered.
I think she's joined with her smartphone, man.
Okay. Let's give her like 3 minutes. If in 3 minutes she cannot continue, maybe Vina can continue. Is that okay?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, Desi.
Desi,
Hello, Desi.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I want to continue the presentation uh, about the nature of cell of the contract. It is a reciprocal agreement or bilateral in which both parties have right and obligation. The second, the firm is free, which is not attached to any particular firm. And third, consensual, where this agreement is not sufficient standard. And then uh, okay, I want to continue.
please.
Hello, ma'am.
Dear, I think there's still problem with your voice, yeah, with your audio.
Kedengeran nggak?
Now, yes, it
Yes.
is. But at some point, suddenly it's lost. Then you come again and it's lost again.
I have problem, ma'am.
Okay. Do you mind if the presentation
Yeah.
continued by Fina? Do you mind if Fina continue the presentation? I mean, well, to make it more efficient, if it's okay. Hello, Daisy? Okay, I think it's okay, yeah, if you now continue the presentation. Okay, Vina has checked.
Okay.
Ma'am, let me join with my.
Yeah, please. I've already admit your new account.
Is my voice clear now?
Yeah,
Hmm? It's clear.
Okay. So I will continue my presentation. Uh, before Desi, can you?
Yeah.
No. So I will explain about the guarantee first. The guarantee is mean by the court because the sale was and the goods sold were confiscated or executive sale, and where the burden on the goods sold or related to the goods are as collateral, and covering hidden defects where the defect is in question is a defect in the goods in the sale and purchase agreement, which costs the goods and reduce the value of the goods. This is a special type of the default or one prestasi. And the nature of the sale of the good contracts, it is a reciprocal agreement or bilateral in which both parties have rights and obligation. The form is free, which is not attached to any particular form, and consensual, where this agreement is not sufficient with an agreement between the two parties. New or new ownership rights can be transferred right after the handover. Next, Desi. Next, Desi. Okay. Ma'am,
Yes.
no, I think you can you make me the co-host?
Okay.
So
I'm gonna make you the co-host so that you can share screen.
yeah. So Desi, you can stop share screen.
Um. Okay, you're the co-host now.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's already, yeah. It's my screen already there.
Yeah, I can see your
Yeah.
screen.
Okay. So the next is element of a sale and purchase agreement. The elements of a sale and purchase agreement, the main element itself is goods. I'm sorry. The main elements in the sale and purchase agreement are goods and price, where between the seller and the buyer there must be an agreement on the price and the object of the sale and purchase, as regulated in Article 14 and 65 of the Civil Code, which reads the purchase price must be set by both parties. A valid sale and purchase agreement is formed when both parties have agreed regarding the price and goods sale, and the purchase agreement will exist when it occurs or reach agreement on goods and price. The consensual nature of the agreement, the sale and purchase is confirmed in Article 14 and 58 of the Civil Code, which reads sale buying is considered to have occurred between the two parties the instant after them reach an agreement about the goods and price, even though these goods have not delivered or the price has not been paid. Sales contract procedure. Sales contract procedure in the implementation of the sales contract is not only done by making an agreement between the two parties verbally, but also in writing, so that there is a concrete evidence made by both parties on the agreements that have been made together. In making a sales contract, there are several areas that must be known and considered. The coverage in the sales contract that must be considered is first amount or quantity. This needs to be considered in making a sale contract because this quantity provides information to the buyer of the number of items purchased in accordance with the previously made agreement in order to avoid interpretation disputes. The contract is well explained and the calculation unit is used is perfect. Second is quality. This coverage necessary because this section will discuss or describe the quality and specification of the goods and to be received by the buyer, so that the buyer knows the quality of the goods he received as desired or needed by the buyer. In the explanation of the specification of the goods, please also note that the goods already have international quality looks or international standard quality. For industrial goods, technical information and the name of the manufacturer are provided. For other goods, brochure, leaflets, or samples of goods may be attached. The third is price. Price is fairly important scope in making a sales contract because before the contract is made and the sales transaction is carried out, the buyer and seller make a bargain. Then after both parties agree, the seller will make a sales contract which is binding on both parties. In the contract, the price of goods must be explained per unit of goods, at what price and in what currency according to the buyer, as well as the exchange rate used must be appropriate at the time and using what rounding as well as the sales formula calculated by the seller. For shipment date, the shipment date is to find out when the time of shipment has been agreed upon by the parties, and if the agreed time is that the seller does not ship, the contract will be given information that the agreement will end or there will be an extension in accordance with the agreement between the two both sides. So in the contracts, the first is the payment methods. The payment methods, so the payment made by the buyer to the seller depends on the agreement made by both parties. Usually in the contract, the buyer has previously paid part of the price for the goods purchased, then for full or 100% payment depending on the goods, whether when the goods arrive at the port or while the goods are still on the ship. And in the contract will explain the original shipping document that will be given to the buyer. The second is technical requirements. The terms that include this technical requirement are the condition for the delivery of goods, namely in the sales contract, what type of Incoterm is used. If the type used is FUB, then all costs until the goods are loaded onto the ships, include shipping costs, transportation to the port, and the cost of loading on board is the responsibility of the seller. Then another technical requirement is the place for the delivery of the goods. Determining the place for physical delivery of the goods is important to know the limits of the responsibility of each party. In foreign trade, goods sent or received will go through the channel of seaports by air, via train or bus station, or through post office, etc. So that's all for our presentation. If any question, has there any question?
My question is, where is Madam Uni?
Huh? Ya udah nggak usah tanya ya guys.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just left from the Zoom because my phone was off, but now I've got it. So it's done already, the presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Vina or Daisy, could you send me the
Okay, ma'am.
presentation to the group?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you guys, if any of you have probably a question or maybe a comments from the sale of goods presentation from Vina and Desi, please just tell us your thoughts here before I'm giving any comments. Please, any of you have I don't know, comments or whatever. Probably Fina or Desi, you have any example of how the sale of goods contracts are? Do you have any example?
Ma'am, I don't think, for me itself, I don't think I have an example, but I think I will make an example, and if my example wrong, can you? It's okay. It is okay if my example is wrong, or you can clarify, maybe.
Where is it? Your example? Can I see it?
No, I mean, we don't have any example in this slide. So, or maybe I can give an example.
Yeah, please.
So, or maybe in the sale of good contracts. So, there is just say that there is don't want to sell like shoes to don't you want to sell shoes, then